Hey everyone, I'm Haley and welcome to my first YouTube video. Today I'm going to walk you through my March spread in my very first bullet journal. So I started bullet journaling at the beginning of the year and I found out about bullet journaling through YouTube actually. So I thought, well, I love being creative and keeping my life organized, so I'm going to try this out. And I decided to start my YouTube channel 2 months later to put more ideas for bullet journaling out into the world. Alright, so let's get into the March spread now. I'm currently flipping through my journal, showing you how I start off the month by writing down what I want to be on each page and the placement of it. So here I show the weeks and what order they're going to be in, followed by some blank pages that will be filled with some pictures. Alright, we're going to start out with the cover page, and for this month my theme is succulents, and I chose this theme because I want March to be the month of growth for me. I want to grow as a person and really focus on myself this month. So I usually choose my theme depending on how I want it to represent me. So I don't necessarily think of the time of year it is or the holidays in that month to make my theme, because next year when I start a new journal, my themes may be too similar to last year's. So I try to go outside the box a little and mix it up so it provides a fresh feel for each new month. Once I have my theme picked out for the month, I will go to Google and search that theme to find an image that is similar to how I picture the layout being on the cover page. And I do this to help me with things like placement, authenticity, and color. And then I'm just going to go in and outline everything in black before I start the coloring process. Now this month's theme has a lot of green in it, so I decided to use colored pencil just because of the wide variety of greens and other colors that they have. I added some purples in there too and some oranges that you'll see later in the video. And I went over some of it with a light shade of black just to make the greens more of a forest green. Here's the final look. On the next few pages, I will be laying out my important dates, my mood tracker, and this cool thing called a goal wheel, or pie, whatever you prefer. This pie is something that you can use in your journal to see how much time you spend in each area of your life. So at the end of the day, when you go to fill this in, you will ask yourself if you worked on that area of your life that day, and if you did, you can fill it in with one line of your marker so that you can visibly see the difference in which pieces have more lines than others. At the end of the month, you can see which areas lack your attention and work on this for the next month. I call it a goal wheel because I split up my goals for the year into each of these categories in the wheel and made a few goals for each section. For my mood tracker, I am drawing a big succulent in a small pot, and I chose to write Moody on the pot just because I think it's a little funny. But then I number each leaf, and I will create a legend at the top that has some faces under each of the boxes on how I'm feeling, and those will have colors in them. I made it so that the more unhappy I was, the more darker the green was, and so the leaves would look more dead, and the happier I was, the more green the leaves were. The next few pages are going to have my habit tracker and my dreams tracker. For my habit tracker, I like to turn my journal landscape just so I can fit all of the dates in the month on the page. So I'm going to make an entire grid for my habit tracker, and then each day that I do that habit or don't do it, depending on what the habit is, I will fill in one of the squares. And I just like that view a lot better. I can see which habits I'm doing better on than others. Then I'm going to go ahead and fill in each of my habits and move on to my dream tracker. To incorporate more of my theme throughout the spread, I'm going to add some hanging glass terrariums. And I freehanded the circles on these just so that they would have more of a handmade blown glass look to them. And then I added a layer of sand or dirt in there with some rocks and a different variety of succulents inside. After everything is outlined, I will go in with my color. I put some brown in there for the dirt, and then I made a special color for the sand just so it would look a little different than the dirt. For the succulents, I added some pink and blue in there this time, along with some pops of purple. To finish off the look, I'll add some string and a caption that says dreams. Moving on, I'm going to be laying out my memories page and my thankful for page. I highly recommend doing a memories page just because it's a fun thing to go look back at the end of the month. And the thankful for page isn't necessarily something that I add to every day when I journal, just sometimes when I think of things that I'm thankful for. So at the bottom of this spread, I added some succulents in different height pots. And then I used the same lettering from my cover page for the titles on these pages. Once everything is outlined and ready to go, I will go in and fill each succulent with a different color of green or pink. Once all the succulents are done, I will go and fill each pot in with a different color. I chose to do this just to break up the excessive amount of green that's in the spread and give the eye kind of a break, but in a good way. The next and final spread I'll be doing involves a packing list and the end of week 1. I start off week 1 by drawing some dots in there. The middle one was a center point of the page, and then I drew 2 on either side of it to figure out where my posts would go. I like everything to be centered on my spreads, so that's something I do quite a bit to help out with titles and drawings. So these posts that I drew are sticking out of this succulent garden at the bottom, and then they each have a flag off of them that shows the date. And I left an open space above the flags because I like to do a quote of the week. So once I get to that week, I will find a quote online or something that I read in a book, and I'll write it above the week. Once everything is outlined and the pencil is erased, I will go in and add the green to the succulents. Then I'll color the posts brown and the pot red. The next page is going to be a packing list because I'm going to Palm Desert for spring break, so I thought it would be a good idea to have a list of stuff that I would bring so I don't forget anything. I drew some suitcases since I am traveling, and I did a stack of 3 on top of each other, and then next to that I did an open suitcase with some succulents planted inside. Once all the succulents are colored in, the next step is to go and color the suitcases. And the final step on this page is to go in and write the title. After finishing this page, I decided to go back to my habit tracker page and put in some more terrariums just to fill that blank space. Here is the final flip through of my bullet journal spread for March. I hope you all got some great ideas from this, and maybe you will recreate it someday. But if you like more of this type of content, please subscribe, and I'll see you next time.